True strength begins the moment you realize you are alone. Friedrich Nietzsche. Have you ever noticed that when you start to change for real, the people around you begin to feel uncomfortable? They don't speak openly. They disguise it with jokes, with advice masked as concern, or with that awkward silence when you talk about something deeper. But deep down, what's really happening is simple. Your mental evolution threatens their comfort zone. And no one likes to be forced to confront their own complacency. Maybe you are going through this right now. You started thinking differently, acting differently, maybe questioning things you once accepted without a second thought. And suddenly, you began to feel alone, misunderstood, judged. What no one told you, and what Nietzsche understood better than anyone, is that this is the price of building a strong mind. Not just any strength, but a strength so real, so intense, that it makes others uncomfortable. It scares them. It exposes the weakness of those still living on autopilot. Why does this happen? Because a truly powerful mind is a threat to collective mediocrity, and nature was clear about this. When you decide to think for yourself, create your own values, and abandon the comfortable illusion of ready-made truths, you become dangerous. Dangerous to the system. Dangerous to others. Dangerous to your former self. This video is a call, a challenge. It's not made for those who are comfortable, nor for those who want easy answers. It's made for you. You who are tired of being a hostage to your own insecurities. You who feel on the brink of an internal rupture. You who are ready to build something that no one can destroy. A mind that no one can manipulate. A mind that terrifies because it does not bend. If you feel ready for this path, this lonely, tough, but absolutely transformative path, stay. Because what Nietzsche has to teach you will confront you, but it will also set you free. And after this, you will never think the same way again. Nietzsche was not just a philosopher. He was a surgeon of the human soul, someone who had the courage to look into the abyss of existence and not only face it, but dive into it. And it is precisely in that abyss, in that inner chaos that many avoid, that he found the source of true strength. Because for Nietzsche, it is not in peace, stability, or order that a human being transforms. It is in pain. It is in the fall. It is in chaos. He wrote, "You need to have chaos inside you to give birth to a dancing star." This is not a poetic metaphor. It is a psychological diagnosis. It means that if you want to build an unshakable mind, you need to abandon the childish idea that it will happen through comfort, cheap motivation, or positive affirmations. No, true strength is born when you face suffering without fleeing. When you stop asking for life to be easier and start wishing to be stronger. Think of the times you grew the most. Was it when everything was fine? Or was it when you were shattered, lost, directionless, having to rebuild yourself with your own hands? Nietzsche believed that suffering was not a mistake of existence, but its main driving force. He did not romanticize pain. He faced it as a tool. And if you can change your relationship with pain, with failure, with loneliness, you begin to shape something rare, an indomitable spirit. And it is precisely there that the world begins to be disturbed by you. Because while most flee from chaos, you will learn to walk within it. While others beg for normality, you will create greatness. But this transformation requires a brutal break with everything you were taught about strength. Being strong is not about smiling all the time. It's not about fake emotional control. Being strong is enduring the unbearable and coming out on the other side even more dangerous. But Nietzsche knew chaos by itself is not enough. You can be destroyed by it if you do not have an inner center, an anchor. And that is why, in the next part, we will talk about the most decisive moment of Nietzsche's philosophy, when he kills God and places upon you the full weight of existential responsibility. Because when there is no longer a sky to look up to, it is within you that the universe must be born. When Nietzsche declared God is dead, he was not celebrating. He was issuing a warning. What he killed was not a divine figure itself, but the illusion that there is a higher authority taking care of everything. The illusion that there is a plan, a pre-established meaning, a purpose given from the outside. The death of God is the end of any excuse. And that is frightening, Because until then, it was easy to believe that everything happens for a reason, that suffering was part of a divine plan, that a greater good would justify everything. Nietzsche violently tears this veil away. He looks you in the face and says, "You are alone. There is no ready-made meaning. Now you are the creator." And this is where the true construction of a powerful mind begins. Because most people collapse when they realize they are alone in the face of chaos. But those who have the courage to face it without crumbling begin to forge an unshakable consciousness. With the death of God, Nietzsche pushes you into the abyss of radical freedom. You should not follow commandments. You must create values. You should not obey. You must surpass yourself. It is the birth of brutal autonomy, and with it, the full weight of responsibility. Either you build yourself or you sink. Music rises slowly, but here's the secret. This freedom that frightens you is also the greatest source of power you can ever have. When you understand that no one will come to save you, something inside you awakens. A fire, a will. You stop acting because someone said it's right. You start acting because you decided it is right. It is in this rupture that Nietzsche prepares the ground for something even more powerful. The emergence of a new way of being. A being who does not need approval, who creates their own morality, who surpasses their own limits. This being has a name. Nietzsche called it the Übermensch, the Overman. Nietzsche did not believe in slow and passive evolution. He believed in rupture, in radical transformation, in creative destruction. The Übermensch is not a superhero. It is not someone with mystical powers. The Übermensch is a being who has overcome everything that binds the ordinary man: guilt, obedience, herd morality, the need for acceptance. The Übermensch does not seek to be accepted. He does not ask for permission to exist. He creates his own internal laws and lives by them, even if that puts him against the whole world. That is why his mind becomes unbreakable, because it is not built on others' expectations. It is self-sufficient. It feeds on its own will to power. The Übermensch does not adapt to the world. He imposes meaning onto it. He does not ask, "Is this allowed?" He asks, "Is this worthy of me?" And this shift in thinking changes everything. Music slows for emotional impact. But becoming this kind of being requires sacrifice. You will have to kill the parts of yourself that beg for approval. You will have to face the pain of not belonging. You will have to build your identity from scratch, without guarantees, without applause. Most people cannot handle it. They run back to the safety of beliefs, dogmas, and rules that others wrote for them. The path to the Übermensch is lonely. Nietzsche knew this. He himself lived on the margins, misunderstood, isolated. But it was in that isolation that he found his freedom. And this is what you must understand. The stronger your mind becomes, the further you drift from the masses. The higher you rise, the more you disturb. Because when you refuse to fit in, you show others the price of their own comfort. In the next part, we will dive deeper into the most neglected and powerful aspect of this journey, the solitude of the strong. Because the truth is simple. To become unshakable, you must first learn to walk alone. And very few are ready for that.